This war is not something that Americans voted for in 2024. As a matter of fact, we voted for the opposite. We voted for no more foreign wars, no more regime change. And we were told by many members in the administration throughout the campaign, J.D. Vance, Tulsi Gabbard, and others, that they believed that going to war with Iran would be a terrible idea. It was something that Charlie Kirk himself had said over and over again. And Donald Trump, President Trump, I voted for him 3 times, fought for him to become president, and I still want him to be successful. But he told Americans for over 10 years and even longer that he thought foreign wars and regime change was really a bad direction for America to go in. And we trusted and believed him that we wouldn't be doing this.
It has only taken a matter of days for the MAGA movement to start tearing itself apart publicly. And right now, Marjorie Taylor Greene is leading the charge straight at Donald Trump himself. In the last 48 hours alone, Greene has accused Trump of operating under an anti-Christ spirit, demanded his removal from office through the 25th Amendment, floated impeachment talk, and openly encouraged MAGA supporters to stop paying taxes as punishment against the administration. And she is not doing this quietly behind the scenes either. She is blasting it all over social media, repeating it during national TV appearances, and rallying angry Trump supporters who feel completely betrayed over the escalating war with Iran. Greene says millions of Americans never voted for more foreign wars, more regime change, or more taxpayer money being shipped overseas while the country sinks deeper into debt at home. According to her, the anger exploding inside MAGA right now is being fueled by voters who believed Trump represented America first, only to now watch him threaten an entire civilization with destruction while the national debt closes in on $40 trillion. And what makes this even more shocking is that the attacks are no longer coming from Democrats. They are coming from Trump's own base.
Why would an American president lead his political party into the midterms waging a full-scale major war, completely unprovoked on Iran, on behalf of Israel? And that's the way most Americans see it. They see this is for Israel, not for America. Why would an American president do that, which is forcing gas prices to hike right here going into spring break where families are going to be driving out of town, going into summer, declaring and waging a major full-scale war that seems to have no end in sight, that is not de-escalating, it's escalating every single day. And it just doesn't make sense. And the American people did not vote for this. This is not what we campaigned for, Pamela.
The breaking point for many conservatives appears to have been Trump's escalating rhetoric toward Iran. Greene specifically pointed to Trump's social media posts, where he warned that an entire civilization could effectively be wiped out if conflict continued to escalate. She publicly condemned those statements, saying innocent men, women, and children would die if those threats became reality. During a CNN appearance with Caitlin Collins, Greene was pressed directly on whether she truly believed Trump should be removed from office, and she doubled down immediately, saying yes, absolutely. She accused Trump of embracing rhetoric that she described as blasphemous, dangerous, and morally unacceptable. Greene also tied the controversy to Trump's online attacks against Pope Leo XIV during Easter weekend, claiming Trump mocked the Pope because the Pope opposed war with Iran. Then things escalated even further when Trump posted imagery comparing himself to religious figures, triggering outrage from religious conservatives already furious about the direction of the administration. Greene says she is now actively praying against what she views as a dangerous path toward catastrophic war, and the reaction spreading across MAGA social media right now shows she is far from alone.
He passed a crypto bill that helped out all the crypto donors. He has served Israel's interest, even attacking Iran. He has served Big Pharma. He didn't take away the COVID vaccines that we want to see taken away. So those are the areas that are still getting everything they want, while the people, we're still out here saying we want to see action on areas for the American people, not for the major industries and the big donors.
What started as criticism has now turned into an organized rebellion campaign. Marjorie Taylor Greene is openly encouraging Trump supporters to refuse paying taxes as a form of protest against the administration's foreign policy and spending priorities. She released lengthy videos and social media posts, arguing that Americans are exhausted from watching their tax dollars fund endless wars, corruption, fraud, and government abuse while ordinary families struggle financially at home. Greene says voters no longer believe elections alone are enough to stop what is happening in Washington, and claims grassroots conservatives are demanding a nationwide tax revolt. According to her argument, Americans are tired of seeing trillions added to the national debt, while politicians continue funding foreign conflicts that many voters feel have nothing to do with protecting American citizens. And this message is catching fire, because it taps directly into long-running frustrations inside the conservative base over inflation, rising prices, government waste, and endless intervention overseas. What makes this situation especially dangerous politically for Trump is that Greene is not positioning herself as anti-MAGA. She is arguing that Trump abandoned MAGA first. As the backlash grows, critics are also resurfacing older footage that they say perfectly captures Trump's long history of controversial behavior. One clip making the rounds again comes from 1997, during Trump's ownership of the Miss Universe pageant, where he publicly mocked Alicia Machado's weight during a press conference while she exercised on a stationary bike in front of cameras. Trump joked about her appearance, called attention to her weight gain, and turned the entire moment into a humiliating public spectacle. For many critics, the resurfacing footage is being used to argue that Trump's behavior toward people, especially women, has remained consistent for decades, and that voters are only now beginning to fully confront it. The renewed circulation of these clips comes at the exact same moment Trump is already facing backlash from his own supporters over Iran, foreign policy, and attacks against conservative media figures. And that combination is creating a perfect storm online, where old controversies and new controversies are now colliding together all at once. One of the biggest shocks inside conservative media right now is Trump openly attacking some of the very personalities who helped build the modern MAGA movement. Podcast host Dave Smith and several major right-wing commentators are now openly saying they have never seen a president self-destruct politically in quite this way before. According to Smith, Trump has publicly lashed out at Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, Alex Jones, and multiple major conservative voices, all within the same political moment. Critics inside MAGA are stunned because these personalities collectively represent huge portions of Trump's own coalition, ranging from Fox News conservatives all the way to the InfoWars crowd and independent populist media. And instead of trying to hold the movement together, Trump appears to be attacking everyone simultaneously. Dave Smith described it as watching a president actively trash the people who helped get him elected, comparing it to a Democrat president suddenly attacking every major liberal media figure at once. The response from many conservative influencers has been mockery, frustration, and open rebellion, with some now warning that Trump may be destroying his own political legacy in real time. The rhetoric coming from parts of the conservative media ecosystem has become absolutely brutal. Some former Trump supporters are now accusing him of abandoning the entire America First movement in favor of foreign intervention and endless war. Dave Smith openly argued that Trump no longer seems to care about preserving the Republican coalition and may even prefer watching Democrats sweep elections after he leaves office, just so he can claim nobody else could replicate his success. Other MAGA voices have gone even further. Candace Owens claimed Trump appears to be operating under demonic influence and accused the people surrounding him of feeding his sense of invincibility. She criticized advisors like Paula White and Laura Loomer, while arguing that conservatives calling for peace are now being treated as enemies by the administration itself. Across right-wing media, phrases like mega disaster, America last, and completely unhinged are now being used by people who once defended Trump relentlessly. And the deeper the Iran conflict becomes tied to economic pain at home, the louder this internal MAGA revolt appears to be getting. Right now, many frustrated conservatives are tying the Iran conflict directly to rising economic anxiety inside the United States. Some MAGA commentators are warning that the war is already costing billions per day, while gas prices, diesel prices, groceries, and household costs continue climbing. Critics argue that ordinary Americans are once again being told to sacrifice financially for another foreign conflict they never wanted in the first place. Several Trump supporters featured across conservative media accused the administration of betraying its original promises of no more endless wars and America first. Others claimed Trump's messaging has become increasingly erratic, with shifting explanations, escalating threats, and constant reversals creating confusion even among loyal supporters. What makes this moment politically dangerous is that these frustrations are no longer isolated to fringe internet voices. They are spreading across mainstream conservative spaces that once operated almost entirely in lockstep behind Trump. And the internal fractures keep expanding because this is no longer just about Iran. It is becoming a broader fight over loyalty, ideology, and who truly represents the future of the MAGA movement. Trump has always demanded absolute loyalty from allies, while often turning against them publicly the moment disagreements emerge. But now, some of the movement's most recognizable figures are openly saying they are tired of defending someone who they believe offers no loyalty in return. Dave Smith argued that Trump repeatedly burns the very people who support him and then acts shocked when they walk away. That frustration is now spreading through online conservative communities, where influencers, commentators, and activists are openly debating whether Trump himself has become the biggest threat to the coalition he built. And once those kinds of conversations start happening publicly inside a political movement, controlling the fallout becomes almost impossible. What also makes this story remarkable is how quickly the tone inside MAGA media changed. Just months ago, many of these same voices were aggressively defending Trump against every criticism. Now some of them are openly questioning his judgment, his mental state, his motives, and even his moral direction. Terms like antichrist, demonic influence, and war criminal are suddenly appearing in discussions coming from Trump's own side of the political spectrum. Whether people agree with those accusations or not, the speed of the collapse in trust is what stands out most. And the more Trump attacks conservative influencers instead of trying to calm the rebellion, the more he seems to intensify the crisis. What was once a tightly unified political movement is now starting to look like a full-scale civil war unfolding in public view. At this point, the biggest threat to Trump may not be Democrats, the media, or even Washington investigations. It may be the growing rebellion happening inside MAGA itself. When longtime supporters begin accusing their own leader of betrayal, corruption, and abandoning the movement's core promises, political damage can escalate incredibly fast. Marjorie Taylor Greene launching what many are now calling a revenge tour against Trump has pushed this conflict into completely new territory. And if more major conservative figures keep joining the backlash, the fractures inside MAGA could become impossible to repair. We will keep following every development as this story keeps exploding. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay tuned, because this political war inside MAGA is only getting more intense from here.